The postseason begins tonight in Class 6A football. Welcome to John Hampton Stadium at Carlton Field at Osseo High School. Tonight, a good first-round matchup here in 6A. It's the St. Michael-Albertville Knights taking on the Osseo Orioles. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox, and these teams had been meeting pretty regularly in recent seasons, but this year did not, as STMA moved into the Metro West sub-district, faced a really difficult schedule. Their record is 3-5, but boy, the losses are to some really power programs. They had a lead on Maple Grove, who is undefeated, ranked number 1, defending state champion. That tells you a lot about how good this STMA team can be. Losses also to teams like Minnetonka and Eden Prairie and Edina, so probably a better 3-5 team than many would think. They're certainly a strong team. They're a little bit young, but they've got the potential to do some good things. Meanwhile, for Osseo, a nice bounce-back season. As Orioles fans know, Darren Lampker returning to the head coaching role this year after spending time as the head coach at Augsburg. And they are 4-4. We had a chance to see them on CCX in the last regular season game against Champlin Park. Ended up to be a 7-point loss to a 7-1 Champlin Park team, and I thought the Orioles did a lot of good things in that game. They were close to winning that game. And I think if they can duplicate that effort here tonight, they'll have a decent shot. St. Michael-Albertville playing pretty well down the stretch, too. They feel like they have a definite shot to win this football game as well. One of the reasons we selected this one for the first round of the playoffs. Some of the other matchups maybe not expected to be quite as close, but this one certainly has the potential to go either way. Tell you about key players to look at in tonight's game. We mentioned a young team for STMA. Their defense has very few seniors, but one of them who has done a great job for them, a prototypical size linebacker, Zach Marble at 6'4", 215, far and away leads them in tackles with 83. And both teams feel like the run game is going to be important tonight for both sides, running the ball and stopping the run. And Marble's going to be one of those guys that they look to get in and involved in making a lot of tackles. And for Osseo, we're going to talk about a guy who's going to see some action on both sides of the ball. Philip Say, senior, coming in as one of their better returning defensive players. Nearly 50 tackles as a D-back. He also has 5 tackles for loss. They'll use him in an aggressive role, but he's also seeing a lot of time at running back down the stretch of the season, and he'll definitely be getting some carries tonight, battling a little bit of an injury, but they want to rely on him this evening as they try and stay alive here in the postseason. Stay tuned. We've got Class 6A football coming up next year. It's St. Michael-Albertville and Osseo on the way next.
For 90 years, Connection has been at the heart of everything they do at Topline Financial Credit Union. Their team is passionate about connecting with you to help you reach your financial dreams. For some, they're here for your first, like your first checking account, first car, or first home. For others, they're here for those next steps, whether it's remodeling your home, saving for retirement, or starting a small business. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your big moments. Visit toplinecu.com, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured with the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
We are about set for action here on CCX Sports in partnership with NSPN. So wherever you're watching tonight, we are glad to have you with us. It'll be Marble kicking off for St. Michael-Albertville. To begin tonight's contest, Mikey Criswell, number 10, and DeAndre Smith, number 6, back deep to receive for Osseo. Very good weather here for this first round game. Taken at the 5 here. As Criswell getting up the middle, and he is knocked down hard. Solid tackle by Jace Carrillo there, one of the linebackers for the Knights, coming up with a big stick. By the way, they fooled us with 2 number 8s in the pregame. That was not Zach Marble we saw, but Zach going to be out there a lot on defense tonight for the Knights as he tries to help lead this defense. And both teams, as I mentioned, said, controlling the line of scrimmage and who can rush the ball is going to help, but also turnover battle is something that's been very important. STMA has done a better job of that late in the regular season, and that's helped to lead to success for them. And meanwhile, Osseo hasn't been forcing any of late. Wes Cran's going to throw it on first down, and he slings that one up over the top too high for Barcenas. And incomplete. It will bring up a 2nd down and 10. So 2nd down coming up here for the Orioles on their first possession of the evening here as we get the game started. And a handoff this time. Marble meeting Criswell, and very little there. He'll get about a yard or so. We're going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
Brought down by number 7, Carter Silver. 2-yard gain, bring up 3rd down.
Good job filling the hole there. There wasn't much movement from that big O-line from Osseo. Going to hand off again on 3rd down, and fighting his way forward was Criswell out over the 25, but that's still going to leave them about 3 yards short of a 1st down. And Osseo presumably going to be looking at a punting situation on 4th and 3, although Kranz is still out there. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a hard count here, see if they can possibly catch the Knights jumping. Now they are going to bring the punt team on. Everybody's scrambling into position from both sides. Kranz is the punter. Both teams' quarterbacks are their punters as well. And it takes a great Osseo bounce all the way down to about the 25-yard line. About a 49-yard punt. So the Orioles stopped on a 3-and-out, but a good punt helps push a field position back to a more manageable spot as the Knights will have it at their 25, led by Ty Herring and their senior quarterback. There's a look at the offense for the Knights on the left, the defense for the Orioles. Coach Lamker was saying, from Osseo was saying that Herring runs very good bootleg action for this STMA team. They need to trust their eyes and be following their keys. Here's a handoff on 1st down, and wow, that one is going nowhere. Big stop by Kevin Key there for the Orioles as he drops Wyatt Mosier in his tracks. That will be a loss of about 3 on that play. Not what you love for your first carry if you're Mosier or any of the Knights there. Is good job by the big guy getting through there. 6'3", 290. Empty backfield here now for Herring on 2nd and 13. Looking to throw now. He's going to tuck it and run, and he is met and knocked down. Walquist helping to finish him off. He got back just about a yard, maybe 2. So they'll be faced with a 3rd and long, much like Osseo was. Getting a look as he had time. It looked like there was a hole opening up, but he did bobble the ball just a little bit there as well. Jackson McCroy hitting him, and then Walquist finishing. So 3rd and long here for the Knights. Herring throwing over the middle and incomplete. Pretty good coverage by Say. He was looking for Elijah Lewis, who got a hand on it, but that was going to be a tough one to bring in. And so now it looks like the Knights will be looking at a 3-and-out as well. And again, Herring is staying out there because he is the punter, much like Kranz on the other side. Orioles not expecting a real long punt, it appears. Barcenas waiting at about midfield. It is a low line drive kick, and he's not going to have a chance to field it. It'll bounce down inside the 40 to about the 38 of Osseo. 39-yard punt, including the roll. So both teams showing up defensively early on as the offenses are stopped on 3-and-outs. And so we'll see Kranz in the Osseo offense for a second time this evening. So look at the starters for Osseo on the right on the offensive side, and STMA defensively on the left. Winner of this one would likely get Rosemont in the next round, a top seed on this part of the bracket. Fakes the handoff. Kranz rolling right. He's got some room to run. Kranz making a cut, and then he gets down. He'll be a little short of the first down. Looks like a pickup of 9, though, for Kranz, who doesn't run the ball a whole lot, but that time I thought made a pretty good decision. There was a lot of room as he got out to the edge here on this little bootleg action and never hesitated. His move, though, didn't really fool the defender there, Ophoven, so he just had to go down to the ground. They did give him 10. He did get a first down. Thought he had possibly stopped just short, but he moved the chains. Slings it out. Pass complete and stopped after a relatively short game. DeAndre Smith, but still positive gain and a 4 or 5 there. Looks like a 4-yard pickup for the Orioles. Into Knights territory at the 47. You get another look. You'll see a lot of this from Osseo. Little swing pass. It's kind of a screen action. Good job getting off the block there by Beaumont for the Knights. Second down, handoff going to Criswell, and he is wrapped up after a gain of a couple. They did a good job of making him stop his feet there. And a lot of times the momentum is kind of killed if there isn't really a gap initially. Third and 4 now for Osseo. Going to go up the middle here to the lead back there, Noah Graves. He is stopped short of the first down, but certainly in a spot where you'd be looking to go for it here, I would think.
3-yard carry on the play.
Going to be 4th and a long one here for the Orioles. Their second possession of the night. They're into STMA territory. There's Darren Lampkerson playing with his quarterback, Wes Kranz. Got a big offensive line. Handoff here. Philip Say has the first down with ease before he is popped. Sienna with the stop there. Another look right there. Got some help as well from Mosier. But first down gain for Say. He'll get the handoff again, and this time going nowhere as he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Knights were ready for him there. It'll be a 2nd and 10 coming up. Boy, I was looking, and Coach Essler from STMA was kind of mentioning too, just not a lot of seniors in that defensive lineup. A lot of juniors and even a freshman worked in there as well, so they are got good things to come in their program too, I think. 2nd and 10 now for Osseo. Kranz looking to throw, now going deep for Zamir Johnson, and incomplete. Pretty good job defensively there as they didn't really bite on the fake. Sanyane stayed with it pretty well. There was a little room, but it would have taken a perfect pass to get this one in, and he didn't really put any loft on it. I guess he did have a step, but it's not an easy completion. And certainly Sanyane was there defensively doing a solid job. So a 3rd down and 10 now coming up for Osseo. Kranz is going to hand it off to Criswell, and he'll squirt through there for a good gainer. And this obviously kind of tells you that they're looking to possibly go for it. They wanted to get some yardage. We do have an injury for the Orioles. Looks like it is Noah Graves who is not getting up. 5-yard pickup, so it's going to leave them with a 4th down and 5 coming up as we've just passed the halfway point of this first quarter. No score, but Osseo putting together a little march after both teams went 3 and out on their first drives. Now Osseo facing a 4th and 5 at the Knights' 32-yard line. Noah Graves has become an important part of this offense, though, and looks like they're working on that left knee, perhaps. So not what you want to see. Teams, of course, having 9 days off, that MEA Wednesday wraps the regular season, and then they come back for Friday games the next week in 6A. So a little bit of extra time to heal some bumps and bruises. Knights, Coach Essler was saying they are without a couple of guys, Cooper Henson and Beckett Young, who was injured earlier in the season, but both teams, knock on wood, relatively healthy coming into the playoffs. And boy, that tells the tale for a lot of teams. Your depth gets tested if you have a lot of guys nicked up. And Graves, early indication not probably so good in terms of him being able to come back. He is struggling to walk. So almost kind of a mini timeout for both of these teams, offensively and defensively. A big play coming up, 4th down and 5 here for Osseo in this scoreless battle in the opening round of the 6A playoffs. See what Darren Lampker has in mind for Kranz and his offense here. Fakes the handoff, some pressure coming. Kranz throwing on the run, and it's batted away. Great job defensively there by Mosier, getting over and breaking that one up. And of course, when it's 4th down too, a pass breakup is just fine. You don't need to try to zero in and pick that off. And did a great job getting over there. Looked like a pretty well thrown ball. They had Zamir Johnson, and appeared like, or excuse me, that was Smith. It appeared like it could have been a completion if not for the good play by Mosier. So solid job defensively. They bend a little bit but don't break. Knights will get the football back at the 32-yard line as Herring and company didn't do much the first time they had the ball, but the same was true for Osseo. Fakes the pitch. Rolling right, and he throws, and Lewis is wide open down the sideline, and he might go. This one is going to be a touchdown. There is a flag, but I think it's going to be a roughing the passer against Osseo. This would be a 68-yard scoring strike to Elijah Lewis. The flag was sitting right next to Herring, so I'm almost positive this is going to be a roughing the passer, and the touchdown should stand.
Number 8, Zach Marble, indicate extra point.
Yeah, it is indeed a personal foul. So Marble on to attempt the extra point. Marble punches it through here for the Knights. So with 5:30 to go in the first quarter, the score becomes St. Michael-Albertville 7 and Osseo nothing. Another look. He gets the completion. Boy, Lewis was so wide open, and then they get some blocks out there a little bit as well. He may be a little deceptive speed there, because it seemed like, okay, yes, it's going to be a big play, but it seemed like Osseo had a couple of guys that maybe were going to be in position to at least knock him out of bounds somewhere along the way, but instead he's able to get all the way down the sideline, and they go for 68. And boy, one of the last things Darren Lampker said to me, we really got to be worried about their bootleg, and we have to trust trust our eyes and not be getting fooled. It didn't work there as they had Lewis wide open. The throw actually was a little bit behind him, but he was so alone that still able to easily make a big play out of it. And the Knights strike first here midway through this first quarter.
Marble set to kick it out for St. Michael. With the penalty, he'll kick it out from the
And they are going to choose to kick the ball from the 45 after that 15-yard penalty against Osseo. Well, do you think about onside kick here? The other alternative, I think, would be to try and really pin them deep by either popping it up or kicking it on the ground. Got good alternatives after that penalty. Marble, as I said, is the kicker. He is going to pooch this one, and fielded there by Johnson. And he will be brought down just over the 20-yard line.
Brought down at the 20-yard line.
So Kranz and the Osseo offense will get it back. They had a good second drive going, but then were stopped on downs as a pass was broken up on 4th and 5. Now their third possession of this opening quarter. Done a few good things. I mean, they've had a couple nice runs so far, and Kranz had one completion, but then a good defensive play helped thwart that last drive on that 4th down pass. And see what they've got cooked up here for this next possession. Fakes the handoff. Kranz going to dump it down to Criswell, and he is collared up high. That one's going to be a flag. As Ophoven makes the stop. But I don't know if this was a face mask or a horse collar. It is a face mask against the Knights, so it's going to be a big one.
Face mask against the Knights. A 15-yard penalty, and they have the Osseo first down.
Hard to see from that angle, I guess, if you had the mask against it. Osseo's receiver, Criswell, sure thought so. So we'll get out to the 39-yard line. First down and 10 here for the Orioles. Handoff, ooh, and Say is rocked. Hard hit there by Mate. Not a real big guy at 5'7", but he came and packed a punch on that one, and he stops him in his tracks. Say will pick up 1 yard, but big hit defensively there. 2nd and 9 coming up here for Osseo. They trail at 7-0 after the big touchdown strike for the Knights of 68 yards midway through this first quarter. Kranz, play action here. Pretty good time. Throws over the middle. It's intercepted by Mosier. Mosier steaming down the sideline. He's forced to cut back. And he will be, did he go to a knee or not? Let's see. It looks like they're going to spot it short of the end zone. No. We do see a touchdown signal. There is a flag down, too, right inside the 5-yard line. See what we're going to get out of this one. I wasn't sure that he had stumbled in it. I thought perhaps he had touched a knee down. It's going to be interesting what this flag is all about as well. The flag is way down inside the 5 at about the 3-yard line. This. Oh, they're calling the Knights for aiding the runner there by helping him from not going to the ground. And so the Knights will have it at the 8. The turnover will stand. And they get the football inside the 10. They don't get a touchdown out of it. Another look at that throw. The receiver falls, and Mosier, he was thinking score all the way there as he had a head of steam going back the other way. And we'll see right there as he's kept from falling all the way to the ground. Back to action, and Mosier takes that handoff, and he will get a good gainer down inside the 5, so he'll pick up about 4, maybe 5. And Knights trying to punch it in here and make it a 2-score lead as they force the turnover on the interception by Moser. Had a good defensive pass breakup to stop a drive earlier, and then this time the interception to give them the ball back. Herring to Moser, and he is going to go in for the touchdown, and St. Michael-Albertville getting its second TD of this opening quarter. Had a pretty sizable lead blocker there as Phil Harris, 6'1", 247-pound freshman, leading the way. And so now the Knights will take a 13-0 lead, and looking to add the extra point here as Marble will come on to kick again. Good rush coming, but Marble gets it up quick, and it is good. And so with 3:36 to go in the opening quarter, St. Michael-Albertville now leading it by a score of 14-0. Look at well blocked on that right side. And Mosier just kind of went, straight line to the end zone there. No need to go anywhere else at that point. He realized he was going to get to it. So, boy, he's had a heck of a game already here. Great pass break up on a 4th and 5, an interception, and then for good measure he punches it in as the running back for the Knights. So he's already had himself a night here. Osseo, Darren Lamker saying, all right, settle down here. We've had a couple bad things happen, but there's an awful lot of football to go. Darren Lamker, as I said last week when they played Champlin Park, is kind of an asterisk by that 12th season. 12th season overall, but first year back at Osseo. He took them to a state championship, then was at Edina for a bit, and then went to his alma mater, Augsburg, to be the head coach. And this offseason decided he wanted to come back to high school football, and the Osseo spot was open, and here he is back at it in high school. But his team, a slow start tonight for sure. Zach Marble will kick off here for STMA. Smith will field it at the 10. Makes a cut, but pretty well covered there, and they'll stop him at about the 21-yard line as Osseo getting the football back, but got their work cut out for them a little bit here as they moved the ball some in this first quarter, but also a costly turnover the last time around. I don't think it's, I think you still stick with what you intended to do coming in, though, at this point. There's still a lot of game to play. And what you hope to use coming in is still what you're going to go to here. And off to Criswell, no room to run. Knights all over that one. Marble was up there, as with Nathan Anderson. No gain on the play for the Orioles. Knights starting to kind of win that line of scrimmage, it seems. Rand's throwing, we're going to have a procedure penalty here as there was early movement against the Orioles.
Be a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
So that'll make it a 2nd and 15 coming up now for Osseo. Not the start they were hoping for tonight, but again, it is just the start. We've got a lot of football to play here. Osseo played a decent schedule too, but it is fair to say the Knights had a tougher one. I mean, that Metro West is just loaded. Handoff up the middle, Marble wrapping up Criswell, and then Nathan Anderson coming in to help out. They'll gain back that penalty yardage, so a decent gainer there, but it's still going to make it a 3rd down and 10 or so. No, actually got a little more than that, so 3rd and 9. Give Criswell 6 on that gainer for the Orioles, but it's not the spot you want to be in at 3rd down and long. Haven't fared especially well in these spots earlier in the game. Franz stepping up. He's going to try and run for it, and he will be knocked down right near the sticks. Boy, there's a chance he got this. I think they're marking him. They're going to wave him forward. It is indeed a 1st down. Nice run there for Franz. I didn't think he was going to have a chance to make it. There were a lot of defenders around. He did a smart thing going straight up the middle there, but there were a lot of guys there. But they couldn't stop him before he reached the stick. So nice job by Kranz. Gutsy run. Under pressure here, and he stays on his feet, and he breaks through. Wow, another nice run by Wes Kranz as he'll pick up 9 or 10 more. And the Knights, boy, it sure looked like they were going to have a sack there as Kranz was in trouble. But he somehow squeezed his way out of there. I'm not sure how they let him get away there, as Cooper Steele seemed like he had him. So 1st and 10 here for the Orioles. Not really probably what they were thinking they'd get as 2 big runs in a row by Kranz, but they'll take it. And now the Orioles are going to use a timeout. Or was it the Knights? Looks like they're signaling toward STMA. Interesting drive going here so far, as it looked like they were possibly going to be forced to punt again, and Kranz picking up 1st down with his legs, and then another run gets him another 10. And Orioles with it, 1st and 10 at their 43. They trail it 14-0 with 42 seconds to go here in this 1st quarter of play. State 6A football on CCX and NSPN. Knights have been defending well. Sometimes, a quarterback run, you don't necessarily have somebody spying on that. And again, I don't think Kranz is, one of the first weapons that you look to in terms of their running game, but he's shown an ability to get some tough yards here in these last couple. Fire it out there. Nice hands catch there, Barcinas. And wrapped up and driven back. Zophoven grabbed him around the waist, but it will be a gain of about 9 more. Firing it out, it was out front of him a little bit, but he did a good job to hang on to it. Go up the middle, and looks like they'll have enough for the 1st down. It was actually pretty well defended, but they didn't need much. Ball actually recovered there by the Orioles.
Recovered by 66, McIntosh Williams, and that'll be good for Osseo. 1st down.
McIntosh Williams, a recovery. We're going to reach the end of the 1st quarter. See if we can see where this ball pops out as Say takes the hit. He's struggling forward. They do rip it out of there. It didn't look like a lot of people realized it was out. So, but in any case, the first quarter comes to an end. It's 14-0 Knights after one. Osseo trying to put a drive together here as we turn to quarter two.
For 90 years, Connection has been at the heart of everything they do at Topline Financial Credit Union. Their team is passionate about connecting with you to help you reach your financial dreams. For some, they're here for your first, like your first checking account, first car, or first home. For others, they're here for those next steps, whether it's remodeling your home, saving for retirement, or starting a small business. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your big moments. Visit toplinecu.com because connected, we all do better. Federally insured with the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
We change ends for quarter number two. Osseo trailing at 14-0, but a start of a good drive going here as they picked up a few first downs. They have it at the Knights' 46-yard line. Franz, play action, looking deep down the middle for Zamir Johnson, and just out ahead of him. Coverage provided there by Beaumont. Boy, they got what they wanted there. An awful lot of room. That run fake kind of shaded the defense, and Johnson, I think that was exactly what they were looking to create on that one, but just couldn't put it in the spot where he could get there. They'll come back to that, though, I think. 2nd down and 10. Grant again looking to throw and sails that one up too high over Smith, or excuse me, Johnson. And we'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. And again, seemed to be open there. I'm not sure if they were maybe a little bit not on the same page in terms of depth of that route, or if it was just plain an overthrow there by Kranz. As Johnson was definitely available for the reception. He's been their leading receiver this year. Now, Knights, you got to be thinking, let's keep our eye on the quarterback. If we get some pressure, we want to make sure we maintain lane discipline a little bit and don't let him get out up the middle. Oops. Timeout taken by Osseo. So not a full start. They had already requested the timeout here. Orioles beat the Knights last year when they were both in the Metro North in a wild one, 36-35. The year before, STMA was all over Osseo in 2023. Both played Champlin Park this year and both lost close games. Rebels at home tonight to take on Roseville in the opening round of the 6A playoffs. A pretty good story. You know, we talked about Osseo, them this kind of bounce back here at 4-4, but Champlin Park too. They've been a little bit down these last couple of years in 7-1 regular season, so they won a lot of close games. So they're a team to kind of keep an eye on in the playoffs this year, but even going forward too. They got a lot of juniors. Big 3rd down play coming up here for Osseo. 3rd and 10. Franz looking for a middle screen, and Marble sniffs it out, and Barcenas is dumped for a short loss on the play. Very well read there by Marble, as they did not get a body on him. They were trying to get the action out to the wide, see if they could fool him, and he is there in the middle, and he closes quick. That's the thing too, you don't give the guy a chance to make a move on you. He was on him in a hurry. Kranz is the punter. A knuckler toward the sideline. Oh, and it hits a Knight, and it's going to be recovered here by Osseo. Beaumont was unable to get out of the way. Mosier was trying to tell him to get out of the way, but it hits him in the leg. And the Orioles will get a break here. Another look. This is where you get that, fire call, and it clearly hits him right there. Marcinus there to pounce on it. So Osseo will get the ball back at the 22 of the Knights. The drive came to an end, but the punt glancing off one of the guys who was really just trying to block, Beaumont. I don't know, hard to fault him on that one. I mean, his teammates tell him to get out of the way, and that's what he was trying to do, but the ball just found him. So first down from the 22, handoff to Criswell, and he is dropped early on in the process there by Cooper Steele. Criswell will pick up, looks like just 2 yards on that one, so 2nd and 8 coming for the Orioles. Early second quarter, St. Michael-Albertville leading at 14-0, but Osseo, after being forced to punt, hitting a Knights player who was trying to block, they get the ball at the 22 and now facing a 2nd down and 8. Kranz throwing, Johnson with the catch, but that one was well defended. They tried to get a block out there, but Beaumont coming up to make a stop. Third down coming up here for the Orioles. Not a real big play, but they've got it down to about 3rd and 3. Criswell taking the handoff, squirts up the middle and fighting his way forward, and he should have a 1st and goal coming up here for the Orioles inside the 10. And Osseo coming to the line quick. Criswell takes the handoff again, spins away, and he almost snuck all the way through there. As it is, he'll be down to the 2. Looked like initially it was well defended, but he just kept the legs driving, and he very nearly got all the way in. It didn't look like much of a hole there, and then he just kind of spun away from the tackle attempt there. As Kanger couldn't quite wrap him up. Now we're going to have a timeout taken here by Osseo, as they'll have a 2nd and goal from the 3 coming up. Obviously an important one to try and punch this in after they fell behind by 2 scores. Boy, sometimes you need breaks too, and that's what you'd have to call that punt that glanced off of the STMA player who was trying to block. And it's not a turnover per se, but it's kind of the same type of momentum play, and now Osseo really wanting to capitalize. It's actually been the Knights who have come up with the big plays in these kind of key spots early in the game, but we'll see if Osseo can punch this one in and cut the lead in half here. Great evening for football. Not too much wind and temperatures in about the mid-40s. Or maybe a little better than that coming into the game. It will be by the end, but Osseo again coming with some beef in the backfield. Say is the tailback. He's going to get the handoff, and he is able to drive forward, and he's going to be stopped just short of the end zone, though. They're marking it the 1 or inside. And we'll bring up a 3rd down and goal now for the Orioles. See if they're going to come up there quick and just try and punch us in, maybe even quarterback sneak. And off to Say again, and he will get in. Marble wrapped him up, but not early enough to keep his momentum from falling into the end zone. So Philip Say getting the touchdown run, and Osseo is on the board for the first time. as they capitalize on the punt that glanced off a Knights player and was recovered by Barcenas. And the Orioles on the board for the first time tonight here with 8:24 to go in the second quarter. Bongshoek on to attempt the extra point. A little bit of a high snap, but handled, and he puts it up and through. And so now the score becomes 14-7. Another look at this touchdown is you see Marble's right there and he meets him, but he's stumbling over the pile a little bit and just didn't have enough momentum to keep Say from getting in. And the Orioles students love that. Wasn't a great start for them, but now they're feeling a little bit better about things as they take advantage. As I said, a little bit of a break there. 14-7 becomes the score, and the Knights will get the football back. Bryce Hoff will kick off here for Osseo.
Brandon Bone back deep for St. Michael.
Hoff driving the kick deep, fielded by Braden Bohm. Bohm has some room to run. Gets to the outside, stumbled, and then was ridden down from behind out near the 45 though. Has a good return. Boy, they just had that set up very nicely, and Bohm didn't waste any time. Junior running back who was listed as the starter at running back for them, although we've seen Mosier do most of the work in the backfield for them. And Bohm, you see, well blocked right there, and he just took off. And you see, he just stumbled over a teammate. I mean, I think they were in a position probably to get him anyway there, and Wahlquist finished him, but they'll have it at the 44. Good starting field position. Herring handing off, and Mosier chopped down after a short gain there. Charles Lewis on the stop for the Orioles. Pickup of a couple. I'll call it a 3-yard gain, so 2nd and 7 now coming up for Herring and the Knights. Shift the strength to the left side of formation here. And a handoff again, and some room to run up the middle. As that was Bohm handling it. And he'll cross into Osseo territory to the 49. First carry there for Bohm, and he will check back out. Got a 3rd down and 3 coming for the Knights. And just into Osseo territory at the 49. Hand off to Mosier following a good block. Wow, he got some good work on that left side by Mason Knobloch, 6'6", 250-pounder. Just got in behind him and followed him. 7-yard pickup, just power there. And Lewis on the stop for Osseo, but they've been knocked back a couple of times here. Knights trying to answer that Osseo touchdown as they get a nice drive going here, and they'll be in position with a new set of downs at Osseo's 42. Toss back to Mosier, and he's got room to run again. Mosier into the secondary and brought down at about the 20 or inside. And another nice gainer there. There is a flag down on the play, way out to the left though. We'll see if this one's going to stand. I have the feeling it might be coming back, but we'll see. The players are reacting as though it is too. 'Cause 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 They're going to pick the flag up. And the foul will not be enforced as they'll gain of 24 on the play for Mosier. Right out on the edge right there, I think was what they were. It's interesting, the officials got together and I think one had thrown the flag and another must have said I had a really good angle and I don't think it was a hold, and I kind of agree. I mean, I don't know, those are tough ones. He didn't grab, he might have hooked just a little. Herring under pressure, throwing, and it's incomplete. Osseo trying to pick that one off. Jumped a little bit too early. They were looking for Lewis as Herring was in all kinds of trouble there. Did pretty well to get as much on that one as he did, although he did kind of throw it up for grabs. And they're probably fortunate to have the keep possession here as Herring, that little bootleg, and that's the one thing is you turn your back to the defense a little bit, and he was facing a defender as soon as he turned around. 2nd and 10. Going to go to the handoff to the fullback and down near the 10-yard line as Carter carrying the football. Gain of 8 there for the Knights. So 3rd down and 2. Back to Mosier. Mosier makes a cut. He reaches. He's going to be just short of the goal line, but it's going to bring them a 1st down and goal at the 1. Well blocked, and then he makes a really nice cut. You see a great kick-out block there, and he tried to escape. Good strong hands to hang on to him there. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown. But Mosier puts them in position to add another score here, as it'll be 1st and goal at the 1. I don't think they're going to mess around. I think they'll just try and power this one in. Oops. Oh boy. Not what the Knights wanted there, as they'll be pushed back 5. Those are killers. I mean, obviously they're still in a position where they might score here, but boy, when you're inside the 2 down to about the 1 like that, it really puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Now a little bit different scenario from the 6. You do have 4 downs though, so I don't think we may still see them just go power and try and punch it in. Again, Harris in there in the backfield, number 90. And Coach Lamker discussing it with the official. I'm not sure what that one was about. You got the penalty call, so can't be really disputing that, but I'm not sure what. So here we go, 1st and goal from the 6 after the 5-yard mark off against STMA. Herring to Mosier. Mosier up the middle, and he'll be down at about the 2. Brought down there by Wahlquist. So 2nd down and goal as they get a good push on that play to push it back to the 2, 2nd down. And they look again, well blocked up front. Harris doing his part, and also the fullback Wigfield, 49, who's kind of functioning as a wingback now with Harris at that fullback slot. And off to Mosier again, and he will walk in off left tackle there. Osseo kind of guessing wrong maybe on where what hold they were going to be aiming for there, and Easily scoring the touchdown is Mosier, so the Knights on the board for the third time tonight. Mosier getting his second TD here. Marble will attempt the extra point here for STMA. Herring is the holder. Again, pretty decent rush from the outside, but Marble gets it up and through. So with 3:56 to go in the second quarter, 21-7 now for STMA. And that hole could not have been any bigger there, as they did a good job blocking, caving in that left side, but Osseo again just outnumbered out to that edge. And play caller for the Knights has to feel really good when you see that kind of a hole to run through. It kind of tells you, like, I called the right thing in the right spot here. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's just a simple handoff, and it is, but still, you, with formation and with motion and things, you kind of help create those type of scoring plays as well. So Mosier, as I talked about, I think you could certainly make a case for him as the player of the game so far. He's got a couple touchdowns as a back. He has an interception and a key pass breakup on the defensive side. So he's been there tonight. He's answering the bell for the Knights for sure, a junior. Marble getting set to kick off here for STMA. Now Osseo kind of, a little pressure on them again to try and answer. You don't really want to go into the half down 2 scores like this. Marble punching this kick, kind of a short one to the 13. Smith be brought down at about the 27-yard line by Nathan Anderson. And so Osseo once again down by 2 scores. They were down 14-0 after a quarter, and then they were able to take advantage and punch the ball in after getting the ball at the 22 of STMA when an Osseo punt hit one of the guys trying to block for the punt returner. I mean, they, to be honest, kind of capitalized on a bit of a mishit punt by Kranz, and it knuckled into hitting a Knights player, and Barcenas was right there to pounce on it. So from the 28, Osseo getting it back. Kranz looking to throw. Now firing, and it was juggled a little bit, but Johnson will have the catch, it looks like. See where they spot this. He's going to be close to a first down, but I think just short. Give him 8 or 9 on that one. Good job by Kranz not to panic there. Hand off to Criswell, and a good surge will easily get him the first down out to the 41. Got 4. Kind of interesting that the Orioles actually have more first downs than the Knights. You wouldn't think so by the score and just the overall flow of the game, but they've been getting things in smaller chunks. Kranz looking to throw, pressure coming, he just gets out of there. Kranz makes a cut to the outside, another nice run for him, 3rd nice run that he's had tonight. So he will have a first down, spot him at the 41. Knights again got good pressure on him, forced him to step up, but that's actually been some of Osseo's better offenses. Kranz running the ball. Handing it off to Criswell, and he keeps the legs driving down inside the 35 to about the 34. Give him 7 on that first down play. Pretty well blocked. Lineman trying to fight off blocks there and get free enough to make a tackle, but they didn't get Griswold till he was 7 yards downfield. Osseo getting some mojo on that offensive line right now. Griswold is the up back in front of Say. Kranz turns and fires. Barcenas making a move. Ooh, that might be a face mask. Yeah, it sure is. 3 different flags come in. He reached out and caught Mask there and turned his head.
5-yard gain on the play. There is a flag.
And that one's going to be the major 15-yarder for sure.
Personal foul against the Knights. Face mask.
So that will move them down. Watch as he makes this cut up the middle here. And yeah, Marble got it. Good grasp of it there. Down to the 19-yard line now. First down for Osseo. Boy, this is exactly the drive they needed in this spot. And time not an issue at all either. 2:06 to go. So they are working now. Actually, sorry, they moved the ball. Realized that it needed to be moved 5 yards further. It was not a half the distance. So they had to mark off the whole 15 down to the 14-yard line. Handoff going to Criswell, makes a cut down to the 5, and he will be just short of the first down, it would appear. Well blocked. I thought maybe Criswell didn't exactly make the right cut there, but it was good enough. He'll get 9 out of it. Right here, I thought he should have cut up harder up along the hash mark there, but still worked out pretty well as he gets 9. Here we go with the second down and a yard. Hand off to Criswell on that quick trap. They stop him, but I don't know. We'll see if there's enough. I think STMA is going to quickly use a timeout here. They're actually thinking about trying to get the ball back for themselves. And he will not have enough for a first down, so it's going to be third down and a yard as the Knights using a timeout. Good defensive stop there. Osseo trying to sneak that trap through. Each team now just one timeout remaining. They're looking up toward the booth. I wonder if they're adding a little bit of time back on, so it's going to be 1:41. Interesting. I guess if you're STMA here, you want to conserve time either way, whether you get a stop or whether Osseo actually scores. Even so, you want to save a little bit of time for your offense maybe, but kind of in that in-between spot, like, who's going to call a timeout and when. Be third, and they'll call it 2 now, as they actually lost a little bit on that last run for Criswell. But down by 2 scores, I don't think it's a stretch to say this is obvious 4-down territory. Kranz will hand off to Say, and he is met and stopped immediately there. Carter meeting him first. Wrapped up instantly right there. So 4th down coming up, 4th and 3. Might be trying to draw him off here, it would appear. And now they will use a timeout with 56 seconds to go. So 4th and 3, STMA rising up at just the right time here after Osseo had driven down the field. That 15-yard face mask, a big help. And now a key 4th down. Obviously more and more, as the game goes on, these become even more important plays. 21-7 looks a whole lot different than 21-14 going into half if, depending on what happens here. And obviously Osseo can get a first down without, it's not a goal to go situation too. So if they do get a first down, then we'd be looking at having to kind of scramble a little bit. I mean, obviously the time is still in a pretty good spot for them at 56 seconds, but they will be out of timeouts now. But first things first, you have to actually get the first down. And boy, when they got 9 on that first down play, you thought they were going to get a first down for sure. And then the Knights making 2 big defensive plays in a row, pushing them back a little bit. It's a kind of spot where Osseo, I don't know, they've got a lot of options. I still think they'd be able to run this ball, but you certainly might see Kranz throwing it as well. Here we go, key 4th down, Kranz rolling. Now he's going to step up and run for it and reaches the ball out. It comes loose. The Knights grab it. They're saying they've got the recovery. Boy, this is going to be an interesting call. First of all, did he have enough for the first down? Second of all, was he down by contact or was it a fumble? And it's going to be Knights ball. It's hard to say for sure if they were saying fumble. I don't think so. I think it was stopped on downs. So Kranz reaching that ball out. Oh, this was a close one. He's run the ball in similar spots. It's almost like a quarterback draw. His butt hits down. He reaches, but they spot it just inside the 5, and he's just short of a first down. And the ball ends up popping out. And again, I don't think they called a recovery. I think they called him short. Knights, I think, are just going to try and run out the clock from here, though. Yeah, absolutely the right play to make there. Inside your own 5, you don't want to mess around. They'll just have to snap it one more time. Osseo has no more timeouts. So as long as you can get the center exchange here, and Herring will just take a knee. And they will do exactly that, and we will tick down to halftime here of this Class 6A first-round playoff game, and it's been a pretty good first half for the visitors. St. Michael-Albertville 21 and Osseo 7 as we head into halftime. We'll have first half highlights and stats, and then our second half of football. The winner advances, the loser will be done for the season.
Thank you to our supporting sponsor, Scott's Lawn Care, serving homes and businesses of their neighbors in the Twin Cities West Metro area. Scott's Lawn Care team offers services ranking from weekly maintenance to complete redesign. Also, Scott's Lawn Care offers snow plowing services for the smallest residential lots to large commercial projects as well. Thank you, Scott's Lawn Care, for being a supporting sponsor of CCX Media.
Welcome back here to Osseo as the Orioles trailing STMA 21-7 at halftime of this first round game in Class 6A football playoffs. Take a look at some highlights from the first half, and the first big play was certainly this one, little bootleg action, Herring throwing
For 90 years, Connection has been at the heart of everything they do at Topline Financial Credit Union. Their team is passionate about connecting with you to help you reach your financial dreams. For some, they're here for your first, like your first checking account, first car, or first home. For others, they're here for those next steps, whether it's remodeling your home, saving for retirement, or starting a small business. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your big moments. Visit toplinecu.com because connected, we all do better. Federally insured with the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Off will kick off for Osseo to begin the second half here. St. Michael-Albertville leading at 21-7, and they will get the football first here to begin half number 2, unless Osseo has something good cooked up on his kickoff. Well, we talked about how turnovers were probably going to impact this game, and certainly that interception by Mosier was one of the biggest plays of the game for the Knights. That defensive stop for them late in the first half, you can't underestimate how important that was too. Osseo looked like they maybe were going to punch it in and pull back to within a touchdown, but able to get Krantz on that fourth down play. Keep them out of the end zone. Bohm and Mosier waiting back deep for Hoff's kick. And here we go with half number 2. Angling it toward Bohm at the 4. Going to come out to the right. Made one man miss, but not the next. As Lewis pops him pretty good and brings him down. And so the Knights will get the football first, but not in great field position here, as they only reached the 16-yard line. Well done kickoff. Well, we said Mosier been pretty special in this first half, getting in for a touchdown. Nice run on a key play for them as well. Scores one more time walking in, and he had some big plays defensively as well. Here we go in this third quarter, and guess who? Mosier carrying it there on first down out over the 25. Brought down hard there by Gransberry. Mosier unofficially 55 yards rushing in the first half. And as I mentioned too, besides the interception, he had a key fourth down pass breakup very early in the game too. Second and a yard after the solid first down play for the Knights here to begin this drive. Herring looking to throw, fires, it's complete to Lewis. He takes a hit, but he'll have the first down with these out to the 37. Second completion, that one not nearly as long as the first one to Lewis, but made a nice move there, but then the pursuit coming inside out. They hit him pretty good there, but held on to the ball, and it's a fresh set of downs at the 38 for St. Michael-Albertville. I think they'd like to set the tone with a good drive to begin this third quarter and show Osseo that we are in command here, but Orioles have other ideas. Hand it off to the fullback, spins out of a tackle and keeps the legs driving. As Wigfield took a bump, he'll get about 8. Able to slip out of that first attempted tackle. And every once in a while you give the up guy the ball here and not have him be just a blocker all night long. Able to pop through with that trap, and you see he escaped that first attempt. Timeout here for St. Michael-Albertville. There seemed to be some confusion. Not sure if they maybe didn't have extra man out there too. They weren't sure what substitution-wise where they wanted to be, so they take the timeout here. Second down and a couple coming up for STMA as they try and build on a 21-7 lead. Again, they came in at 3-5 and Osseo at 4-4, although fair to say the Knights had played a harder schedule overall. But both teams, having some good moments this year for sure, and then some, not as good too. But you play in the kind of schedule that they both play, but in particular STMA, it's not hard to see why it's hard to. You don't beat Eden Prairie an awful lot, and you don't beat Maple Grove an awful lot, and Minnetonka's become up in that category too. Now they break the huddle here on this second down and 2. Fakes the handoff, going to swing it out to Bohm. He's got the reception, and down the sideline he goes and cuts it in. He'll be down at the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 14. Nice little call there on the swing pass. Makes a nice cut right here as well, but then just gets tripped up. But they'll spot it at the 41, so first down into Osseo territory here as the Knights try and keep this drive going here to start the third quarter. Mosier takes the handoff here, and he is just tripped up. Be near another first down. Looks like it'll be a gain of 9 for Mosier there. Give some props to this Knights offensive line. Doing a nice job opening holes here. Gonna come back to Mosier, and he keeps the legs driving. Look at him go. Down inside the 15-yard line, another first down. About a 20-yard pickup there. Boy, Osseo, everybody up high on him here. Nobody gets to his legs, and that allowed him to just keep on running. See, they're trying to rip the ball out, which is good, I guess, but you first got to be worried about stopping his momentum, and I don't think Osseo will probably be too happy with the belated gang tackling there. One guy was fighting off a block and just kind of wrapped him up, but took a while before they were able to get him to the ground here. So first down from the Osseo 12. Back to Mosier, this time Wahlquist with a nice stop. He will pick up a couple on that play, but one of the better defensive plays on this drive for Osseo right there. Second down and 8 coming up for the Knights. Boy, this I think exactly the kind of drive they wanted. Yeah, you'd like to go down the field and get points, but you also just kind of methodically taking time off the clock and tiring Osseo out and doing all the things you'd like to do here. And then obviously you'd like to finish it with a touchdown if at all possible here. Pitch out going to Mosier and stacked up at about the 5. We'll leave them with third down and short. Boy, Osseo was really selling out up the middle. I think it was a nice call to be getting to the edge there for the Knights. Wasn't a huge gainer, but it was still positive yardage forward. Now you're in a pretty good spot here. Third down and about 3. So Osseo, I mean, you don't want to say a must stop here, but it kind of almost is. If you fall down 28-7 here, it's going to be dire to try and come back. Back to Mosier they go. A little hesitation and then goes forward, and looks like he should have enough for the first down. Down to the 2. Guys kind of getting into it at the end a little bit there. The Knights wisely pull their guy back out of there. Another look. You see he's just trying to find a spot and able to pick it up. It will be first and goal from the 2. Knobloch was held back by some teammates there, and boy, that's the one thing you don't want to do is take a silly penalty here down at this spot when you're on the doorstep of scoring. So credit to his teammates there for saying now is not the time. Hand off here and reaching out, and he's going to be in for the touchdown again. Mosier continues his big night as the Knights able to drive it down the field and punch it in. Exactly what they were hoping to do to begin this third quarter. And they'll try and tack on the extra point as they used up almost half the quarter as well. Those are the kind of drives that an offensive lineman loves, and so does a play caller, and so does a running back. But for the O-line, just getting to come off the ball hard and open some holes and drive it down the field, that doesn't get much better than that. Extra point knocked through there by Marble. So with 6:14 to go here in the third, STMA now leading at 28-7. Another look. Again, the middle of that line getting the job done for St. Michael-Albertville. Bretker and Riebel and Sippel among the guys delivering key blocks there, as Osseo now in a hole. Down 28-7 with about a quarter and a half to go. In the need of a big play, a spark. So Marble put his foot to it here for the Knights. Taken on the 9. And Smith able to squirt out of there. Oh, that one turned into a nice return. It didn't look like there was a big gap. Marble, the kicker, ends up making the tackle at about the 40-yard line or just over. It'll be at the 41. So nice return there. I said needing a little bit of a spark. DeAndre Smith trying to give it to Osseo right there. He's not a very big guy, but helped them to get a good field position to begin this drive at the 41. See right here, he's just kind of waiting and then stop. Well, usually when you come to a stop, there isn't much of an opportunity to get far on a kickoff, but not the case there. Kranz looking to throw deep down the middle of the field. He's got a receiver. Criswell turns on the Jets and just tripped up inside the 10. Boy, they caught the Knights on that one, and it's a big play for the Orioles. A 50-yard gain to start the drive. Criswell all alone, turned and goes, and then excellent play by Nathan Anderson to at least stop it from being a touchdown. But the Orioles getting, again, not only the big play, but they do it quickly, so they're down to the 9-yard line of STMA, first and goal. Kranz looking to throw, and incomplete for Smith. Bring up a second down goal to go for Osseo. Really biggest play by far of the night for the Orioles. They haven't been able to catch the Knights defense, really off guard on too many things tonight. The quarterback runs have probably been the biggest weapon, but That time they snuck Criswell up the seam, and he nearly went all the way. Second and goal. Kranz throwing and incomplete. Receiver down, Barcinas, but no flags. Boy, this trip by Anderson to keep him from getting to the end zone looks even bigger now. It's third down and goal. And even if they score, you've at least made them use a little more time and a few more plays, but they're going to be greedy and say, no, we're not even going to do that. We're going to stop them here. And Osseo got to come up with something good here. Third and goal from the 9. And they're going to have to end up using a timeout here as play clock was down inside 5. Obviously a crucial play or 2 plays coming up here for the Orioles, down 28-7. They need to score a touchdown on this drive after getting that big 50-yard pass play to Criswell. They've got the ability to get some big plays, and we saw that against Champlin Park. We saw it on that one to Criswell, but they're going to need to put a few of them together here down the stretch if they're going to hope to make a game of this one yet. Knights have put quite a bit of pressure on Kranz, but he's also been able to sneak out and get some key runs while being pressured. He's been able to step up right up the middle through traffic, and I would think that's something the Knights kind of talked about a little bit, as we need to make sure we're staying sound in the middle and not overrun him. Here we go, third and goal from the 9. Kranz has time, throwing for Johnson, and he's got it for the touchdown. Well thrown ball there, and Johnson is elusive, and he's able to get free for the touchdown catch. And the Orioles have new life again. The other good point about it for them, less than a minute to get that touchdown, and they're very much right back in it now. Kambangsuk on to attempt the extra point. And his kick is up, and it is good. 5:17 to go in the third, and Osseo a big drive to pull back to within 28-14 as you see Johnson beating Beaumont there. And Kranz, probably his best throw of the night right there. He puts it right on him. And that's what you'd like, too, is you give that by formation, you give the receiver a lot of room to work with there. That's a tall order, a tough ask to cover him one-on-one there. And he was able to beat Beaumont, and Osseo, well, they got exactly what they needed on that one. Scoring, not just scoring a touchdown, but scoring it quickly after the big play by Criswell helped to set it up, and then it is Kranz to Zamir Johnson for the touchdown, and we are at 28-14. Things kind of looked bleak after the Knights drove down and scored that touchdown, but Osseo answering quickly in a big way. Orioles didn't have 11 guys out there, and now do. Hoff will be kicking off here. Lewis and Bohm waiting back deep here for the Knights. Osseo's been known to try some things kicking-wise here. The Knights, I'm sure, are probably a little bit aware of that and talked about it this week. Gonna drill it to Lewis. Ooh, and he bobbles it at the 5. And going to be hemmed in, and down he'll go short of the 20. That ball kind of carried on him, I think, a little more than he was expecting, and he ended up trying to catch it like overhand up near his forehead and dropped it. So Orioles getting a little momentum from that touchdown and trying to see if they can't come out fired up and get a stop here defensively. We've still got a lot of time to go in the game, nearly a quarter and a half. 5:09 remaining in the third. Knights had a very strong, methodical drive last time around. Almost entirely on the ground. Couple completions mixed in. Herring will hand it off, and Bohm is dropped instantly. Orioles all over that one as Kennedy getting there. Be a loss on the play. Lewis helping out as well. So you kind of wondered, would Osseo get a little momentum, team momentum from that offensive drive? And the answer early on that kick coverage and on that defensive play seems to be yes. 2nd and 12. Mosier, though, takes the handoff here, and a good gainer. He will not get the first down, but he'll be within a couple yards. And we'll bring up a 3rd and short here for the Knights. Maybe they're spotting this one, 3rd and either 2 or 3. Looks like it'll be a couple to go. Big play here for both sides. In this spot on the field, you pretty much have to punt if you don't make it. Herring fakes the handoff, now in trouble, and down he goes. Eidsvog able to make the stop there for the Orioles. Huge play there on the sack. Out in space, one-on-one, and he won the battle. And now Herring will drop into punt formation. Barcenas waiting back only on about the 45-yard line. Again, Herring's first punt was not a terribly long one, although it got a great bounce. And same on this one. This time it'll take a bounce enough for Barcenas to field it. And nowhere to go, but he at least saved yardage by fielding it. So they'll have it at the 46-yard line. But gosh, it wasn't that long ago that it started to feel like when the Knights drove all the way down the field and punched it in that this was their game going away, but that doesn't seem like it right now. See Osseo fired up to get back out there and see if they can't score again. Kranz, a little reverse. Barcenas taking the pitch. He's going to throw at the lefty, looking for Johnson, but it's incomplete. There's one Osseo was kind of saving for a big moment, and they would like to have that one back again. Looked like he was open, but again, it's not your quarterback, and he's throwing on the run. Not quite able to hit him, so it winds up an incompletion. 2nd down and 10. Obviously, any kind of gadget play, you can't always assume it's going to work, but when you have it, set up the way you want, and then it just doesn't connect, you kind of feel like, we wasted that one. Kranz looking to throw, and incomplete for Barcenas, as they were, again, not quite on the same page, I think, on depth of that route, as that ball ended up sailing well behind him. And now a 3rd down and 10, so back into a key spot here for both teams, like we saw in what ultimately turned into a touchdown pass on 3rd and goal from the 9. This is 3rd and 10 at the Knights' 46. Kranz wants a little middle screen, and incomplete, as he didn't quite hit Barcenas with that one in a spot where he could catch it. And now 4th and 10. I think they're going to go for it. Rush coming, and just out front of him, he juggled but couldn't hang on to it. So yeah, score and field position, I think not a difficult call here to go for it. 4th and 10 here for Osseo. Knights trying to get a stop. Orioles have a little bit of momentum, but now facing a big 4th down. Kranz stepping up to run. Now he goes back the other direction, and the pass is picked off, and Marble is going to take it in for a touchdown. Well, it would have been a big play even if he just blocked the pass, but instead he catches it too. And what a turn of events right there. That one will be a memorable highlight reel play for Mr. Marble as he able to get it done on the interception return. And now he'll get himself into position to be the kicker on the extra point. Coach Lampker giving some instruction there to Kranz. He was just trying to make a play. He had run for some big gainers earlier, and I think at first that was the thought, that he was going to take off and run the ball up the middle. Then he weaved his way back, and Marble was like a yard away from him. He tried to throw it over him, and Marble not only blocked it, I don't know how in the heck he held onto that ball from that close range. There is a flag down on the play. Marble's kick is good. I think the defense was offside here. They're asking Knight's bench, do you want the kick or... It is offside on the defense. The extra point will be... Well, I stand corrected. Looks like they're going to move the ball and go for 2. Yeah, they're going to try and stretch the lead here to 22 if they can punch this one in. And not hard to see why they think they can do it, because they've been able to move the ball in these kind of spots all game long. Here's the 2-point try for STMA. It is Mosier, and he will get in for the conversion, I think.
2-point conversion is good. Wyatt Mosier on the rush. .228 left to go in the third quarter. St. Michael 34, Osseo 14.
Boy, I guess I wasn't looking at the right official because I didn't see signals, but it certainly appeared as though he was in. But he will get it. He will get the 2-point conversion. Watch this play by Marble. Here's Kranz scrambling, trying to make something happen. Boy, he almost went past the line of scrimmage too, but he throws Marble. Oh my goodness. Getting his hands up to block it, and it sticks to him like Velcro there as he makes that catch and takes it in. And then here's the 2-point play. It seemed pretty obvious to me that he was in, but nobody seemed to be signaling. All the Knights are signaling, but so Marble will now kick off here with his team ahead 36-14. What a turn of events. Osseo had really kind of gotten the momentum with that big drive. 50-yard play to Criswell and then 9-yard touchdown pass to Zamir Johnson. But they seem to have the momentum. They were within 28-14, and then the Knights get the huge defensive play by Marble and the 2-point conversion. Out to about the 24-yard line. Orioles will get the football again as Smith is brought down there. Well, Osseo, on the one hand, they've kind of showed that they could do it on that one touchdown drive. And I think they really felt like, yeah, we're on the way back in. But, boy, that really hurts. End up not only not scoring themselves, but giving up the defensive touchdown to Marble. And now they're kind of back to where they were. Kranz will hand it off. Here's Say breaking through, and he's just tripped up. He nearly popped that one. as Mosier makes the stop. So Orioles football at their 38. Go back to Say on the ground, and he will pick up 4, maybe 5 on that one. That previous drive was pretty much all through the air, but now sticking with ground a little bit here. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Knights leading at 36-14. Osseo, though, stringing a couple nice plays together. Fakes the handoff. Kranz now throwing on the run, and a nice catch. Ooh, and that might be a late hit. It is. Smith was kind of giving himself up and out of bounds there, and Nathan Anderson popped him. Yeah, dead ball, personal foul. Yeah, it was kind of unnecessary. I mean, you can see why you want to finish the play and everything, but I think it was pretty obvious that he had already stepped out. And popped him. And the kind that you got to let up. So down to the 29-yard line now of the Knights. A lot has happened in this third quarter, and we are not done yet. Kranz, quick throw to Zamir Johnson, trying to get around the edge, and he does. And Johnson will have another first down to about the 16. Got some quick guys, and Johnson able to get to the outside with a nice little move. So first down at the 16 of STMA, a minute 22 to go in this third quarter. Osseo, every time it looks like they might be out of this, they kind of find an answer a little bit. Say up the middle, Marble wraps him up. They spin together to the ground there. But a pretty sizable gain again, about 5 on first down for the Orioles there. We actually will call it 4, so 2nd and 6 coming up. Under a minute to go now in the third. Osseo trying to claw back in this one again. Kranz. Now it breaks down. They rip the ball out, and a scramble for it. Looks like the Knights may end up with this one. Yes, indeed they will. Turnover as Kranz trying to scramble and had it yanked out of there. And STMA will make another big defensive play as Marble, another look right there. Carter rips it out, and Marble ends up with the recovery. Right there, he doesn't even know where the ball is, and it gets kicked a little bit, and ultimately he winds up with it. So give Carter credit for the forced fumble, and Marble the recovery, and the Knights have the football back. And once again, you kind of say, is that the one that finishes Osseo? It's certainly going to help the Knights' cause in terms of winning this game. Herring giving it off on a reverse. That was Bohm, and he is brought down on a nice form tackle by Eidsvug. Gain of 3 on the play. It could be the last play of the third quarter, and I suspect it will be. If you're the Knights and you're the team ahead, probably going to use up time as best you can here. And so we will reach the end of 3 here in this Class 6A first-round football playoff game. It is St. Michael-Albertville 36, Osseo 14. The fourth quarter is straight ahead on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
A lot to cheer for the Knights here this evening as they lead at 36-14 as we change ends for the fourth quarter. And get the big fumble recovery a moment ago when Osseo seemed to be driving again to try and get a little bit closer again. Hand off here to Bohm. Shakes off one tackle and then is thrown down as he crosses the 30. He'll be very close to a first down. And looks like he will indeed have enough for the first down. See, as he cuts, Eisvug tracks him down from behind, but not able to stop the momentum there. So a few different wrinkles for the Knights here. They're not just trying to run the same stuff over and over again. Getting Bohm involved a little bit on the edge. And off here going to Bohm. He'll get a couple this time around. Second down and 8 here for STMA, trying to win for the fourth time this season and keep their season going. Looking to be in a pretty good position to do so the later we get here. Obviously, Osseo needs to make something happen. We'll toss out to Bohm this time. And let's see where they'll mark him. He kind of skidded forward there as he'll be down at about the 37, it appears. Bring up a third down and about 4 here for STMA. Still very early in the fourth, but with the margin where it's at, obviously Osseo not really going to get the ball back too many more times unless they really make something happen here. And off and trying to struggle forward. Short of the first down there is Mosier. Get a couple, but not quite enough. And so they're going to be looking at 4th and a yard, a long yard here in their own territory with this kind of lead. You might see them try to draw Osseo offside, or they might just go ahead and punt. I'd be surprised if they go for it here. I mean, even if you're fairly confident you can make it, it seems like a gamble not worth taking, but we'll see. Be ready for a hard count here if you're Osseo. Well, they are going to go for it, and the pitch back to Mosier, and he will pick it up. Wow, what kind of confidence you have in your offensive line and your back there. Mosier easily picks up the first down out to the 45. To be honest, really wasn't expecting that they would snap this ball. I thought it was just going to be a hard count, either a timeout or a delay of game taken, but that is not what the message that Knight staff sending there. They say, we're going to go for this and we're going to get it, and that's exactly what they do. And I'm deflating if you're Osseo there, so they're going to be able to chew some more time off the clock, if nothing else here. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line now. Herring will toss it to Bohm. Makes a cut into Osseo territory. Close to another first down here. See where they'll spot this one. Looks like it'll be a 9-yard gain. Bohm hadn't carried the ball much until lately here, as Mosier had been doing most of the work at the tailback slot for them, but now Bohm mixing in. Mosier had been playing a lot of defense too, so give Bohm some time and carries here. 2nd down and a yard for the Knights. So we'll be under 8 minutes when they snap it again here. They lead at 36-14. They might have taken Osseo's best shot now and just trying to salt this one away. Back to Bohm, and it looks like he's going to be close. I don't know. They might be spotting him short. I thought he got all the way to the 45, but seems like they're spotting it just shy of that. Referee giving it an eye here. They may bring the chains in here, I think. Yeah.
Officials time out for measurement.
I thought he had reached the 45, but then again, sometimes you stretch the ball a little bit after you're down or whatever. I'm not questioning that spot or anything. It just from up here, it seemed like he had gotten there. About as close as can be, but he is short. But still 3rd and 1, and they went for it on 4th and 1.5 yards and easily made it. I don't think they're too worried yet at 3rd and 1. It's hard to tell from that angle if, just how far the ball is forward. I'm actually right about at the 45. I'm looking right down the line. And then I knew it was close, but I thought he had gotten there. Here's the 3rd and 1. And they will pick it up. Oh, the ball comes out, and it looks like Osseo's going to have it. Yes, indeed. Orioles, Zachiel will get the recovery for Osseo. And so the Knights will turn it over. Another look as Mosier trying to kind of go up and over and just has it knocked out by Lewis. And then Zachiel lunges on it at the 46. So he's going to have the first down, but that's a little bit of the difficulty when you go up in the air like that. Hard to protect the ball. And so the Orioles will still have life at their 44. Kranz throwing to Zamir Johnson. He's got the catch. And then will be wrestled to the ground. Forward progress to the 50, so a gain of 6. Did a good job. Earlier he got away from 2 guys on a spin move like that. This time the second guy in took a better angle. And able to bring him down that time was Ophoven. Kranz looking to throw, has time, and to Zamir Johnson. Nice completion there. He did a good job with footwork too, down to the 41. Yeah, another first down, a gain of 9. Johnson's 5th catch after a slow start, or wasn't thrown too much. Nice job turning back, finding the open receiver. There wasn't a whole lot of room there, but he got it in. From the 41 now, Kranz throwing deep downfield, and he's got Johnson. He's dropped inside the 10, but another nice gainer there. A 31-yard pickup there. Knights. The ball a little bit underthrown, or they might have had a touchdown there. Hand off to Say. Harris knocks him down. Got about 3 or 4 though. Osseo trying to go up tempo here as well. They need to. We're nearing the halfway point of the quarter and they're still down 36-14, but they're not giving up. Trying to punch it in, see what happens. Kranz looking to throw. Now for Barcinas, and he's got it. Nice adjustment by Barcinas. He was covered up initially, and then he just kind of, a little scramble drill there, just get open any way you can, and that's exactly what he does. And he'll get the touchdown catch.
43, Manzuk indicates point 13. Stefan Barcenas to hold.
So Kambangsuk on to attempt the extra point here. Gets the kick up, and it is good. So 6:13 to go in the fourth quarter, and now 36-21. Another look. Right here, it almost looks like maybe he's going to have to throw it away, but Barcenas did a great job of adjusting and just kind of sneaking into a little opening there, as he was well covered initially by the D-back there, Senyene, excuse me. But then he just kind of worked himself free. Did a good job of not giving up on that one. Well, as I said a couple of times, this is not exactly over yet. Osseo battling back. They would have liked to, score that previous time they had it and make it a more time-friendly situation, but you get the touchdown here, and Hoff now will kick off. We've got a lot of guys up for the Knights. Only one man back deep. So they are definitely expecting onside kick. There might be a possibility of trying to drop that ball in behind that second wave of guys, but then again, that's a long way to run to get to it. Off, it is an onside kick. It takes a nice big bounce. We do have a flag down. Be offside. So Knights moving forward before the ball was kicked there, looks like. Boy, St. Michael-Albertville, 10 guys all within not only yardage-wise, but just all toward the middle of the field as well. Another onside kick. And it takes a nice big hop, and Bohm will make the catch for the Knights. Those are the kind where you got to have some guts. You're going to get blasted by probably more than one person, but able to hold on to that ball, and STMA will have it at their 42. 6:10 to go. They lead 36-21. Osseo scoring, though, to make it back to a two-score game. They're down 15. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Probably a little early to be thinking of, immediately taking one if you're Osseo here, but Herring will hand it off to Bohm, and he is stacked up. Nowhere to go that time. No gain on the play. Orioles, I think, selling out there to really stop that. I mean, yeah, you could leave yourself vulnerable to a bootleg or play action, whatever, but at this point in the game, you can't let them just bleed the clock. You've got to kind of take some chances and see if you can't send some run blitzes and, force them to punt the ball to you at least, or even get a turnover, even better yet, but no need to be cautious right now, I don't think. Herring will hand it off, and again, a big stick is coming from the edge that time for the Orioles was Kennedy. Oh, looks like we had a timeout quickly called here by Osseo. There's Bohm as Kennedy comes from the edge. Yellow shoe, bottoms and all, making the stop for a 2-yard loss. And then a quick timeout taken by Osseo. So Knights, the drive not starting how they were hoping here, as they stuffed twice in a row, and now we'll face a 3rd down and 12. Again, time not really on Osseo's side, but they do have enough time that you certainly can't say this one is over by any stretch. Be interesting to see what the Knights do here. You know, do you trust putting the ball in the air and risk, you know, either a turnover or even just an incompletion that would stop the clock? Again, they do have pretty good bootleg game, and I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see that. Trust Herring to make a play. Here we go, 3rd down and 12 for the Knights. Quarterback draw. Herring has all kinds of room to run. And up the middle, but there's a flag down. This one's coming back. A really poor decision by Lewis, as he'll be called for a hold. There are 3 flags. He tackled somebody. Very unnecessary one. Great call, great execution, but down the field a bit, there was what appeared to be an obvious hold on the receiver. The officials, I think, first and foremost saying, did you all see the same thing? And the answer is yes. And the hold will be marked from the spot of the foul, though, so at least it was downfield a bit. But that wipes out a touchdown. You see 2 guys locked up, Lewis blocking, and right here he finishes by just tackling him. Why would you do that? Yeah, that one had to be called. Not a good decision. So the ball will be back at the 50, and it will be 3rd and a couple. So the only good news again for the Knights is that it happened enough downfield that they're still in a pretty good position to try and pick up the 1st down here, but they don't get the long touchdown that it appeared they were going to have. Now, let's see, they're going to use a timeout.
The Knights take timeout.
Well, big 3rd down play here. Osseo catching maybe a little bit of break on that hold as they were caught a little out of position on that quarterback draw. And I feel like that hold wasn't really what, I mean, I think he was already kind of by there anyway. It was really unnecessary, but it was an obvious hold, as 3 different officials saw it. So they'll come up to the line here, 3rd down and 2, 5:14 to go. Gonna go with the toss. Mosier's gonna throw it. It's tipped and incomplete. Wahlquist almost came up with the interception. Well, the Knights trying to catch him off guard there, but Osseo was ready. Mosier pulling up to throw, and the pass deflected, and then Wahlquist gets his hand on it. So now it looks like they are going to punt. Arsenis going back deep. Again, Herring is the punter as well. This one staying interesting down the stretch here. Osseo is not out of it. Now we're going to get, I think, a delay. Yeah, clock reaches 0, so the Knights used up too much time there. And they'll be pushed back 5 before punting.
Delay game on St. Michael.
Marcinus getting instruction from how far back should I be. I mean, I know he'd like to be able to catch this ball rather than, having it bounce. Aaron gets it out of there, and he's not going to be able to field it, so it'll be down at the 24-yard line. So 5:02 to go. Osseo down by 15, but again, still hanging in.
All fans, concession food is half off. If you want something to eat, head down to the concession stand.
Here's a situation, too, where if you're Crans, I mean, you've got to take some chances. In some ways, it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. You just kind of go for it and see if you can't get things going. Crans dropping to throw. He's going to step up and run. And wrapped up and brought down. He'll be out about a 1-yard gain. I think they'll give him on forward progress there. But Knights will certainly take that. Osseo is going to hurry back up to the line here. 4:40 to go and counting. 2nd and 9. Going to go with the handoff to Say, and he is met. It's a good collision there with Quate. Picks up a few, but again, if you're the Knights, you don't really mind that at this point. 3rd and 4 now for the Orioles. Crans throwing deep downfield, and a good effort, but couldn't quite come up with it. As Amir Johnson intended target, and now it will be a 4th down coming up for the Orioles. That's a very long throw from one hash mark and then all the way across the field. And it drifted on him a little bit. Boy, actually almost had that. It would have been interesting to see if he'd been able to come down in bounds or not, even if he had caught it. But so we've got a 4th and 5 coming here for Osseo. Crans scrambling. A flag is down. He throws on the run. It's incomplete. I don't know if we might have a hold here. And if so, it'll be declinable and the Knights would take over. It is indeed a hold against Osseo. It's declined. STMA will take the ball, and there's also an injury to Say of Osseo. Well, they're pressuring Crans, and then we get there's the hold. Kind of a couple guys there. And then the throw was not quite on target, so Philip Say unfortunately down. I know he was getting his ankle looked at before the game and wrapped, and it seems like that's maybe what they're looking at here, perhaps. Well, I said it a couple earlier times, is that the final nail for Osseo? And again, right now, it certainly feels like it. The ball on their 29, 1st down for the Knights, who lead by 15. We believe what we have on the screen is correct in terms of timeouts. They didn't take out one off either the last 2 that were taken, but 1 by each team, not taken off the scoreboard, so it still shows 2, but I don't think that's right. Say able to make his way off under his own power here. So the Knights again trying to see if they can't take a step towards sealing this one up. Protecting a 15-point lead as they get the ball back in Osseo territory. Herring will hand off to Mosier, trying to pick his way through. Amir Johnson in on the stop there for Osseo. Got a couple. Bohm now in at the tailback slot here for the Knights. They're going to try to use up as much time as they can. Herring looking at that play clock. 2nd down and 8. Goes with the toss to Bohm, trying to get to the edge and brought down. Say was back, or excuse me, yeah, it is Say who made that stop back in there. Short gainer on the play. Bring up a 3rd down and 7 here for the Knights, but again, the time is probably the biggest factor right now as we've gone under 3 minutes. Herring will hand off again to Bohm, and he is met and dropped. Barcinas and Walquist on the stop for the Orioles, but a timeout taken here. .225 remaining on the clock. It'll be 4th down and 8. Well, we saw the Knights try a little halfback pass earlier, and it didn't work out very well. So I suspect they'll be more conservative with this here. And even if you turn the ball over on downs here, you're still in a pretty good position. So I mean, yes, they'll definitely try to get this 1st down, but I don't think you'll see them gamble. But if you trust Herring a lot, you never know. Could be a quarterback draw again too, perhaps. And instead we're going to see, guess what, a timeout taken by St. Michael-Albertville. Might have wanted to see what Osseo was going to come out in there too. So the latest in a series of big plays in this game, where you say, okay, if Knights get a 1st down here, it's over. Osseo gets a stop. They still got life. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but that's for sure. But I think if you're STMA here, again, you like it being aggressive to a certain extent, but I think you want to minimize risk here too. Boy, other than that hold, they had real good success with the quarterback draw earlier, so I guess that isn't something that would shock me here if we were to see that. Herring looking for a middle screen. Instead, he's got it, and this is going to be a touchdown for the Knights. Well, there was a heck of a call as they go fullback middle screen, and Carter Wigfield able to take it the distance for the touchdown. And now I feel confident in saying that will do it for the Orioles here tonight, as the Knights come up with an excellent call on a 4th and long and get the touchdown. Marble on to attempt the extra point here. And his kick is good. So with 2:17 to go, now 43-21 St. Michael-Albertville. And it looks like there is a flag down on this play. I thought Osseo might have been offside. Well, he's apparently wearing a microphone that he can talk to people, but I think signals are still usually required, and we're not seeing that there. I guess we're supposed to guess what the call is. Yeah, it must have been offside as they'll move the ball forward on this kickoff. Rigfield enjoying that moment. Another look as they let the rush come through, and he just got that one out of there. And boy, I kind of had the feeling right as soon as he turned upfield that they're probably not going to be able to stop him. He had a lot of momentum going forward at that point, and wasn't really contacted until he reached the goal line. So Knights trying to seal up this win. Osseo has managed to make a game of it a few times, but going to run out of time here, and 2:17 to go. That'll be a touchback. Interesting, I can hear the coaches up here, they're discussing, well, what should we do when this ball's moved forward? Do we want to pooch it down there? And the coaches up here were suggesting that, we got another game coming up, and it's been physical and a little chippy. It's better off just to not even bother and kick it out of the end zone, and that's exactly what they did. So Orioles football here. And a false start, left side of the O-line. Got started early, so Osseo definitely made some strides this year. It's going to end in this first playoff game, though. They did some good things tonight, but more of the big plays obviously made by STMA. You look at that early 68-yard touchdown to Lewis, and Marble with that spectacular interception return, and then that screen that they just had. And just a few too many mistakes along the way if you're Osseo. Did some good things, but not as many as the Knights here tonight. So with the handoff here and not much doing. So we'll take under 2 minutes to go. Again, we believe both teams are out of timeouts. The scoreboard up here at the stadium still shows one each, but I don't believe that is correct. Not that those are still going to be much use at this point now that the margin's where it's at. I mean, I don't think either team would be using one here anyway. Grand's going to hand off. And a run up the middle there for Jabril Hall. Decent gainer there, but it kind of shows you that Osseo is content to just kind of run this one out here and not going to take any crazy gambles down the stretch, or they realize that it's the margin's too big now to really do anything about. Third and long. Kranz will hand off once again. And should be enough for the first down here as Hall carries it again. But they'll wind the clock again once the chains are set, and might be perhaps down to our final play coming up here. So Osseo battled back on a few occasions, made a game of it. They were within 2 scores, got it to 15, but again, the Knights making some key plays, and they are going to advance to round number 2. Hall again. Brought down after about a 3-yard gain, and away from the play. We got a couple guys mixing it up just a little bit there. And let's see if they're going to enforce a penalty here. There's 6 seconds to go. And they're just going to say, well, let's wind the clock. Coach Lamker even saying that. It's over. Let's not bother with it now. Get guys angry at each other a little bit at the end. So game does come to an end, and congratulations to St. Michael-Albertville as they will move on and most likely be playing Rosemount as they defeat Osseo by a score of 43-21 here this evening. Orioles will finish the season at 4-5. Again, a season where they took some steps forward, but kind of an up and down night tonight. Did some good things, but had some big plays go against them as well and end up on the short end of the score this evening. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's action here on CCX and NSPN. For all of our CCX crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Again, your final, St. Michael-Albertville 43 and Osseo 21. Good night from Osseo.